So moving on, Bill Thompson says, assuming the mass media is irredeemably corrupt, how do we get the conservative message out at all? You can't move the mass media, Bill. It's like the Titanic, and it's going down like the Titanic. Newsweek is out of business. The New York Times is about to become bankrupt. Everything big and old and slow and stupid is going down. Every single day the world gets more information age, and every single day the internet gets a more and more popular way to distribute information. You know, when we're talking about programming for young people, a lot of people say, yeah, we need to get programming on, Nickelodeon, or we need to get programming on, HBO for young people. Or young people don't watch Nickelodeon, they don't watch HBO. They don't even really watch Hulu. They really watch YouTube. They're just grazing. And many people say, well, why would you watch a video on YouTube, and why not watch the whole thing? It's a 4-minute video. Why only watch 20 seconds of it? And then I realized late in the game that if you watch a 4-minute video on YouTube, during the time you're watching that video, some number like 20,000 new videos have been uploaded in the 4 minutes it took you to watch that. Bang, 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 bang. They move around. That actually helps us. It used to be that in order to get into this game, you needed millions of dollars. You needed a TV studio. You're watching me now. Here's your answer. Walter, it's like, I'm sorry, Bill, the fact that you're watching now, you're watching a TV show. It's a pretty crummy TV show, but I'm kind of proud of it. But you're watching a TV show with a TV show host, and I've got probably, in terms of what's in front of me right now, I probably got $600, $700, about $1,000 worth of material here. I don't have a TV studio. I don't need $30 million to get this message out. So the question is, how many people watch it? Well, it's how many people can you share it with. It's a big internet. And while these numbers on some of my videos, for instance, we did a panel in Florida with Jeremy and Andrew and Ben Shapiro. We did a Truth Revolt panel, and they were telling me that a typical firewall video, 200,000 views or something, it gets more viewers than MSNBC's prime time shows. That kind of blew my mind. And that's with just a little promotion money. You put more money into promotion, and you can actually start getting it in front of millions of people. So I think this is the answer. I think the big media outlets are dying and they're collapsing under their own weight. Certainly young people don't ever, ever, ever watch the NBC Evening News. Not ever, 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 ever. They get their news from Jon Stewart, and I think even he's kind of past peak Stewart. So we got to keep this internet game going, because television and the internet are merging into one, and everybody's been saying this for a while, but it's really happening very quickly. Hulu and the Roku box, and even Netflix is a little traditional. It's actually happening. So support your local Stratosphere Lounge. Welter Almeida says, do you believe one of the reasons we have a lack of conservative messaging is because conservatives would favor being businessmen and women with a lot of money rather than be a starving artist? Well, certainly that's true. I mentioned earlier that starving artists are drawn to a kind of a fantasy world. It's kind of the antithesis of conservatism. That is kind of on the main vein of a much larger question, though, Walter, and a very important question, and that's this. If you take a movie deal to a conservative, he's going to want to know how he's going to make his money back. If you take one to a progressive, he's going to want to know what will his money accomplish for the progressive agenda. For example, back during the Iraq War, I don't know how many movies they made. It was 12 or 13 movies, like In the Valley of Allah and Redacted and all this other stuff. These movies cost millions of dollars. Redacted was directed by, what's his name? Oh, it's on the. I hate it when I do this and have to resort to the comment section. It's right on the tip of my. The guy who directed Scarface, Brian De Palma. So you've got an A-list director making this kind of a, $7, $8, $10 million movie called Redacted. And Redacted came out about the same time as Silent America. You know how much money Redacted made in American theaters? The total American theatrical gross for a movie directed by Brian De Palma, do you know how much money it made? It made $25,000. Not $25,000 per screen, $25,000 total domestic box office for a film that cost several $1 million, directed by Brian De Palma. Silent America, which was produced and sent out by me, self-published by me. I shipped every one of the boxes. I wrote all the checks. We made double that easily. So it just goes to show you that it's the platform. It's the platform. It's the content. So what I try to do when I talk to conservative businessmen is to say, listen, I have a fiduciary responsibility to these people. Liberals don't have this. The progressives don't, they don't care. They laugh about that. Jeremy Boring pointed out that Brian De Palma would rather go to a cocktail party with his friends that made a movie that stuck it to Bush and those conservatives and made $25,000 rather than make a movie like, oh, I don't know, Blindside or something that made $100 million profit but was, appealing to the knuckle draggers. He's absolutely right. It's not about the money. It's about the message for them. And they're prepared to lose money on this stuff. I don't feel like I can I cannot go to a investor with an idea that I think is going to lose money. I just can't do it. I have a little bit of character and integrity. But what I can say to them is, listen, here's how I think we can get you out of this. Here's best case, worst case scenario, and here's most likely case scenario, and here's how we think you're going to get your money back, and here's our plan to recover your money and make you more money than you put in, and you never know when you get lightning in a bottle. But in addition to that, you do need to consider that this has a social function beyond making you money back. Advertising is a cost that businesses assume. They know that they're going to spend a significant portion of money on advertising, and they hope that that money is going to come back in terms of increased sales. And on some level, the left looks at these movies as advertising for progressivism, and they're prepared to spend money on advertising for progressivism. Even if that money doesn't come back to the film, they know they're getting their message out there. George Soros loves progressive movies talking about socialism because he's a big socialist and he wants to take everybody's money and power. And they're prepared to make billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars invested in this and lose a lot of it. They're ready. They're not joking around. They're not kidding around. They're serious. We're not serious. We don't get it yet. But I think we're starting to. I think we're starting to get it.